Hello, my name is Stephanie Maloney. I am a consultant on the Market Intelligence team. I'm presenting a snippet from my recent webinar, Army's IT Modernization Plan, What Lies Ahead. I'm going to be talking specifically about analytics efforts the Army is looking at right now. Here are some of the main analytics drivers that the Army will need in order to implement multi-domain solutions within their IT enterprise. Data analytics is where the Army can start putting its data to work for them. One way they can start using all the data that they collect as part of their day-to-day operations is the Internet of Battlefield Things, which is one of the first tangible IoT initiatives that I'm seeing within the DoD. So that will likely shape future efforts. The Army is also exploring where they can become more autonomous in their operations. TRADOC just released the Army's Robotic and Autonomous System Strategy, where they want to rely on autonomous systems where possible to help them maintain a competitive advantage and lighten the warfighter's workload. This isn't meant to take humans out of the decision-making loop, but one of the key differentiators in the future battlefield is going to be data collection. Data provides a huge tactical advantage. Using machine learning and analytics on all the data being collected from planes, satellites, sensors, and drones can be a key differentiator to use to our military's advantage. Interoperability and integration of data is another way they want to make better use of their intelligence data. The Army is all about data resilience when it comes to intel operations. They want to increase the amount of data available for intel analysts, but also construct an architecture that will allow them to continue with intel operations despite network failures. A huge part of integrating cyber as a domain into operations will be getting a better cyber situational understanding throughout both enterprise and tactical operations. They're planning on turning their big data platform into a program of record for cyber analytics, and that'll focus on identifying data points so they can find and mitigate threats faster. Cyber is one of the elements that the Army may have the biggest challenge with when it comes to integrating it operationally with other domains. So here, analytics can serve as an enabler to bring the domains together. Army Research Lab, which reports up to RDECOM under Army Materiel Command, helps ensure that the Army's technology dominates in the battlefield. They recently put out an announcement for Internet of Battlefield Things, Collaborative Research Alliance, or CRA. By 2020, the Army is predicting there could be 50 billion devices connected to the Internet. And with this project, they want to look at all the connected sensors and devices and associated infrastructure, information sources, and analytics. So the devices for the Army in particular are robots, wearable devices, munitions, sensors, and weapons. They want to look at all the data from these devices and provide intelligence command and control across the battlefield. I've highlighted the main offices that will be involved with the CRA. There's going to be a lot of challenges that these offices are going to need to consider that they'll need help with, like figuring out how to connect and configure multiple sets of sensors from all the various possibilities and draw any real meaningful conclusion from those data sets. So there's opportunity for lots of different types of technology vendors here, from configuration management and enabling connectivity to real-time analytics, to ensuring cyber physical and network protections throughout to ensure resiliency of IOBT. INSCOM, the Army Intelligence and Security Command, will be a big area that data analytics vendors will want to focus on. The Army in February released a new strategy document for the functional concept of intelligence. Integrating intelligence is another key component of multi-domain operations. And with this new intel concept, the Army wants to better use intelligence to support situational understanding. They want to understand challenges with resources, infrastructure, and culture before a crisis arises. They want tools to help them ingest and interpret meaning from social media data feeds. And biometrics will be another measurement that they'll want to use for analysis. So since they're collecting more and more data, they'll need help sorting through it to get it to be truly meaningful. Proliferation of mobile devices is one more thing that makes it harder and harder to draw connections between individuals, so that's just another example of how intel analysis is getting increasingly complicated. And cyber is another big challenge for them, and they do have a dedicated unit, the 780th, led by Colonel Dave Branch, and they handle computer network defense and operations. In terms of staff offices, I've highlighted the G6 and G7. The G6 is led by Colonel Scott Baer, and they're running the day-to-day IT mission. Then the G7, led by Colonel Dave Kim, helps with capabilities gaps. So they're a really important organization to meet with as a new technology insertion point. And right now they're looking at predictive analytics tools for defensive cyber operations, as well as cyber surveillance tools and platforms. So if you want to watch the full webinar, where I cover how technology companies can help the Army modernize its IT, it can be viewed at this link, and I hope you'll tune in. Then finally, if you're interested in any other areas within the DoD, here's the rest of the market intelligence team and what we cover. And if you want anything specific, please reach out to your sales account managers. Thanks for listening.